Hey, what's up everybody? This is Jeremy from Justice League Swag, and today we have a deck profile on Dungeon World featuring Demon Lords.
Alright, this is my Demon Lord deck. Buddy is Bats. I'll get more into his ability once I get to him in the lineup. So let's get started. We're going to start with the only weapon of the deck, which is Growl's Wand. It reduces the lifelink of all Demon Lords on your field by 1, which comes in so handy late game. You don't die from from the lifelink, and then you can rest it to gauge 1, which that gauge comes in handy. Let's get to the monsters. The only 4 of in the deck is gonna be the Buddy, Demon Lord Bats. His ability is obviously with Bats' abilities, he can't be destroyed during my turn. And then while he's in the center, I can pitch a card from my hand to call a Demon Lord from the deck and make it a size 0 by paying its call cost. He is the main card of the deck. He makes everything live. He can make any hand live. Like, dead cards are not a thing in this deck. Alright, let's go to the 2-ofs. We run 2 Ghoul deity Demon Lord Ibukis. Buki skill, when he's summoned from anywhere other than the hand, I can blow up a card on my opponent, a monster on my opponent's card, and if I do, I deal them a damage and take 1 of their gauge. So you can call him off of that skill to do beginning of game to lower your opponent's starting gauge, or late games so they can't push for that little bit of damage they need. You can also summon him using the Sasuke set spell, which I'll get to later on in the deck profile. Also play 2 Demon Lord Jackknife. He is very universal. He can either help you push for more, because during your beginning your battle phase, he either put something either to his soul or put something into your gauge from your drop zone. So we can either give you that little bit of gauge you need to push with going to final phase with your impact monster, or he can give you that extra card in soul. While he has 2 cards in soul, he gains double attack and penetrate. Another 2 of is Demon Lord of Thora. Thora is there to protect your Bats when it's not your turn, and also protect your set spell, your Sasuke, which we'll get to later on in the deck profile, while that is very important. She also has double attack. She reduces card effect damage by your opponent by 1. And now we just have the last 2 of, which is Demon Lord Bladewing. He is your recycling card of the deck. Every time he swings, you can target a monster on your opponent's field, then choose a dungeon enemy from your drop zone and add it to the bottom of the deck and destroy the said card. Which every Demon Lord in this deck, they are also dungeon enemies. So he can let anything back. Now 1-ofs. Play the 1-of Guardian Dragon Demon Lord of Demon Lord Castle, which is a really long name. But he is also a recycler. He is 1 call. You get to choose 1 destroy or Demon Lord card from your drop zone. So we can add back your shield, your gauging cards, your weapon, even other monsters. Another 1-of is the Demon Lord Drum. He is for those like open center decks. During your attack phase, beginning your attack phase, you just destroy their left and right. And he's only 1 gauge to call, and he has penetrate, and he's 3 crit. It's phenomenal. That's it for the size 3s. We also run 2 Chaos Blade Jokers. His abilities, when he's pitched, you can call him from your drop zone without paying his call cost by paying 1 life. When he enters the field, you get to give a monster on your field +1 critical. So you pitch him with Bats skill, you get your card that Bats calls, and you also get the Chaos Blade Joker back. So many OTKs with this card by giving Bats or the other monster an extra critical. And then you got the Impact monster, which is 2nd Manifestation Demon Knight. He basically almost does the same thing that Bats does. When he is called, you can call a Demon Lord monster from your hand without paying its call cost, and it can attack during the final phase. Again, it fuels so many OTKs with this card, and it can give you so much resources. It's insane. And that is actually it for the monsters. On the spells, we run 4 Demon Lord's Invasion. For obvious reason is your searcher of the deck. You pay 1 gauge at any Demon Lord monster except for an impact monster from your deck to your hand. And it's once per turn, but it is, if you don't have the bats, you search the bats. If you have the bats, you search the Chaos Blade Joker. And it's so good. Then you have the 4 bonus quests. If you are not running this card, there is something wrong. It is so free in this deck. It is cast pitch a size 3 or higher monster from your hand, which all the monsters in the deck that you've seen, except for Chaos Blade Joker, is size 2 or higher. And then you gauge 2, gain a life, and draw 2 cards. So you're just replacing this card and the other card in your hand while gaining 2 gauge and a life. And this gauge is very reliant on its gauge. This deck is very reliant on its gauge with Bat's skill, unless you get the Sasuke's out, but you're going to need the gauge early game. Another 4 of, it's the Sasuke Palace that I keep referring to. Its cast cost is you just take 2 Demon Lords from your drop zone. They do not have to be monsters, they just have to be Demon Lords. And its ability is if you don't have a monster in the center, you can counter, call a monster from this card's soul to the center by paying its call cost. Its other ability is, which is the main reason for the card, it reduces all the call costs of monsters that are not called from the hand by 1, and that ability does stack. So if you have multiple on the field and you have bats, it makes the card so free. So you just pitch a card, call something from deck for free. Note, it does not reduce the call, it doesn't eliminate the call cost, it just reduces the gauge cost. So stuff like Drum and stuff that gets Soul Guard will still get their soul off the top of the deck. And this is what you're going to want to protect with that Thora. And then you run the 4 Abdominal Ritual, which is the Demon Lord exclusive nullifier, which when a Demon Lord in your field is being attacked, nullified attack, gauge 1, gain a life. There is no explanation needed for this card. Then we run the 3 golden treasure boxes. I've noticed most people don't run these, but I don't see a reason not to. It is once per turn, which is fine, but once you activate it, you mill anything in the deck. If you mill anything other than a monster, you gauge 1, draw a card. And if you mill a monster, you draw equal to its size. There is only one possibility for this card to be dead, and that is if you mill Chaos Blade Joker, which there is only 2 of the deck. It is very, very unlikely that you would mill that Chaos Blade Joker. Another 3 of is Magical Eye Release. It's just, if you have a Demon Lord on the field, it does not have to be a monster, any Demon Lord. So even your weapon, you gauge 2 and take 1 of your opponent's gauges. Which, again, beginning of turn, this would Ibuki. If you can pull both of them out, you're stealing 2 gauge from them. And we got 2 Dragon's Blessing, which this is a tech card. Again, I've never seen other people run this. You pay 1 gauge. You can only activate during your opponent's turn. You pay 1 gauge, counter, nullify the lifelink of monsters on your field, and you bounce as many of them as you want to your hand. So I've done plenty of plays where I've went in with Bats and Chaos Blade Joker, and they survive the onslaught. So on their turn, when if they attack Bats or Chaos Blade Joker, I'll counter add both of them back to hand and just do the turn all over again the next turn. And then we got the 2 Divine Protection of Shelsana. I don't see a reason to run more than 2 because I do have the Abominable Ritual and I have the Dragon's Blessing, which I'd rather have Abominable Ritual than this. And Abominable Ritual is recyclable from the drop zone using the Guardian Dragon. And then the last 2 cards of the deck are 2 Quinton. I'm not even going to butcher their name. It is just when you don't have a monster in the center, counter, reduce the damage by 3. Which this card has saved me so many times from impacts or be it they kill my center. So these are the last two cards of the deck. If you have any questions, feel free to comment, and I will either answer you or Justin will answer you. But that is my Demon Lord deck, and that is it.
Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll be back with another profile video coming soon.